YouTubers, welcome YouTube. Remember my camera arm is still, I've got two I ordered actually coming tomorrow. So we'll see the quality of that to mañana. All right, go live on TikTok and we shall see. That's true. The sound is the same sound system today as before. But again, I rebooted or I sort of started my computer, blah, blah, blah. So who knows? Anyway, welcome TikTokers. And I'm making some Greek bread as we talk. So once that's ready, I'm going to have to go get it out of the oven. Should only take 30 seconds, but nonetheless, beware. It took forever for it to rise. Sasha, what are you doing? Hey, come in here. Come in here. Yeah, looking for dirt. Like I let her look a little bit just because I feel bad, but like enough looking for dirt. Anyway, welcome TikTokers. My dog was looking for dirt as she always does. Discord, YouTube, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday, April 30th. I'm John Aravosis, as you know. We talk about the latest news from America and then the latest news in the war in Ukraine as well. There is actually a lot of news today. Actually, I was going to say not a lot of news today, but that's not really true. There is a good amount of news today. Oh, did I not flip it yet? I never know this. You guys are weird. Why do you like it flipped? It is flipped, isn't it? It's not flipped. It is flipped. It's not flipped. Which one is it? I thought this was the right way. That's the way you like it? So weird. Okay. So bizarre. All right. I flipped it now. I don't understand the flipping thing. Anyway, is the mic being bad or what? Okay. Better be good on TikTok. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Okay. All right. Anyway, it's right. For the map. That's true. For the map, it matters. This is true. Anyway, guys, welcome all. Yeah. Hi, Boppo and Gothenburg. I'm trying to know where to start today. I'm tired. Like I said, I've got bread in the oven. So when that timer goes off, I'm going to get up and look at the timer 1 second just to be safe. But when that timer goes off, I'm going to have to get up and get my bread. 165. All right, not for a while. All right. It's going very slowly. It's only at 165 Fahrenheit. The bread has to hit 195 Fahrenheit. So I'm going to guess another 10 minutes here. Greek Easter bread, which I enjoy. I like my Greek Easter bread for breakfast. Callum actually makes it now, which is kind of exciting. So anyway, guys, so I am a little distracted by my bread today. Yes, but the temperature thermometer ought to work. So hopefully it's not screwing anything up. So let's get rolling here. As always, guys, I sort of cover I cover the American news. What's the latest from Washington, where I live, where I've been working for 40 years, minus 2 years in New York City. And then we cover the war in Ukraine. We can start with the Canadian election, which is very funny. Donald Trump won the Canadian election. Well, let me rephrase that. Mark Carney, the liberal, the guy on the left, won the Canadian election, but Donald Trump was the one who won it for him. Because Trump, idiot that he was, decided to get involved in the Canadian election and get involved, of course, because Trump keeps talking about annexing Canada and wiping them out as a country. And it seems the Canadians were not very happy about the Donald Trump wanting to wipe them off the map. And Trump basically helped the liberal win, which was hilarious. Oh, did they just sign the deal? Thank you, William. William says Ukraine just signed the mineral deal with the U.S. Basically, the Trump people were forcing them to sign a deal today. Depends what deal they signed, because there were two parts to the deal, and one part had to be like approved by the parliament in Ukraine, and the Trump people, being the Trump people, thank you, Jorge, were putting pressure, and thank you, nous with the rose. The Trump people, being the Trump people, were of course putting pressure on Ukraine to sign the deal today, and the Ukrainians were like, well, legally we can't. So my guess is the Ukrainians may have signed like the memorandum of understanding, and the actual deal has to go to their parliament first, is my guess. In any case, whether that's a good thing or not, we'll get to that in a second. That story we're going to cover later on. The Ukrainians, at least one source was telling Sky News that the deal is pretty good now for Ukraine. Let's hope that's true. But Canadian election was the first one we're talking about. So Donald Trump got a liberal elected in Canada, a liberal meaning somebody on the left. Trump got involved, kept interfering in the election. Trump kept interfering in Canada. Trump kept talking about wiping Canada off the map and making Canada, basically wiping it out of existence, and the U.S. taking over Canada. And surprise, surprise, the Canadians didn't like that. What a surprise. So the Canadian election happened. And then what did they do? The Canadians voted for the guy they thought was least likely to suck up to Donald Trump. That was the guy on the left, Mark Carney, and he's their new prime minister. So very interesting. He still may, I think I read he still may have to get a coalition government or something going, but nonetheless, pretty cool stuff. So that was good news. Columbia University student is free on bail. So this is interesting. A student at Columbia, he was one of the student leaders for the Palestinian protests at Columbia University in New York City. Thank you, Blue Ariel, for the gift. Keep the gifts coming, guys. I do these for a living. So your gifts pay the bill, so please keep them coming. But this guy, Mohsen Modawi, in the U.S. on a green card. Green card means like long-term visa. It's like one step away from going for citizenship. Thank you, Big Hawk, for the floating octopus, and Blue Ariel for the puppy, and Felicia. He was here on a green card, or is, and was helping organize the student protests at Columbia, and Trump tried to kick him out. Now, legally, he's allowed to lead student protests. Whether you like it or not politically isn't really the point. He's allowed to under the U.S. Constitution. And they tried to kick him out. A court intervened and said no. Now, the question with the court you got to keep in mind, by the way, thank you, Odes, thank you, Darian, thank you, Big Hawk Adventures, Chris. The court case isn't over yet. What the court said was, we're going to keep hearing the case, but for now, he's released. He's released on his own recognizance, meaning we don't think he's going to flee the country or anything. But you can't, throw him in jail and basically two things. They said you can't throw him in prison and you can't deport him, because what the Trump people were going to do, which they've done with a lot of these cases, is they know that what they're doing is illegal. And they basically try to take it to a court. They basically take these guys and arrest them and then send them to a part of the country that's super conservative. And they get some crazy far right extremist judge to say, oh, this is okay, kick him out. And then by the time he's kicked out, there's nothing you could do. So the judge I think is in Vermont, said, no, you're not kicking him out and you're not moving him to another state either. You're going to better leave him where he is. So that was good news. Bad economic news. So a flurry of bad economic news today. It caused problems in the stock market. Oh, thank you for the cool spacecraft. Ooh, that's a nice gift, actually. Ooh, thank you, Adventures, for the spacecraft. All the gifts are nice, but you can tell when someone gets an especially nice gift because they linger for a while. I think TikTok gifts need to go a little longer, I've always said. And sometimes the gifts go longer like that, and you can tell it's an extra special gift. So thank you for that, Adventures. And thank you, William and Cricket. So bad economic news. We had a flurry of bad economic news today. Stock market went down as a result. The economy contracted last quarter, meaning instead of the economy growing, which it should do, it shrunk. It was supposed to grow. What's the figure? It's supposed to grow. I don't have the figure in front of me. I thought it was 0.4%. I'm not sure, or 0.7. It shrunk 0.3%, which was not good. A lot of the shrinkage was because of imports, ironically. So Donald Trump does his tariffs, right? And he claims he's doing the tariffs because we have a trade imbalance with foreign countries. We buy much more than they buy. We buy more from them than they buy from us. So what did people do because of the tariffs? They bought more from the foreign countries before the tariffs went into effect. So our trade imbalance went even worse. The economy shrunk as a result, or was considered shrinking. And the other reason the economy is considered having shrunk the last quarter is because consumers are pulling back and not spending as much. People are getting worried about the economy. When people get worried about the economy, they don't spend as much. When people don't spend as much, it sends us into a recession potentially, because consumer spending is 2/3 of the American economy. Thank you for the wings there. Butterfly. The butterfly dance. I don't know that I've seen that one before exactly. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Nicolette, as well. The consumer spending is 2/3 of the economy. If you take that spending out of the economy, or it slows down, you've slowed down a large chunk of the economy. So basically, when people are worried financially, when they're worried about the future and they don't spend as much, it is a huge hit on the economy. And as Chris just said, consumer confidence is very low. Consumer spending is going down. So that was another factor. Additionally, we found out that job creation was significantly less than it should have been. It was almost 1/3 of the estimate of what it should have been. I think the estimate was maybe 150,000 jobs last month. It should have been. And instead it was 66,000 jobs. So that's almost 1/3 of what it should have been. That's very bad. All of this combined, the economy shrinking, the economy not making as many jobs as it was supposed to. Consumers not spending as much. All of that reeks of possible recession. Okay. So that's the first big problem. Well, at the same time, Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, broke his or his what, I don't even know with Trump, what do you even call it? Trump flip-flopped again today about the Federal Reserve. You may remember for the last several months, Trump has been like demanding he's going to fire the chairman of the Federal Reserve because he wants interest rates to go down. And then the stock market flipped out. The bond market flipped out. And last week, Trump changed his mind and said, I'm not going after him. Don't worry. Thank you, Succeed, for the wings. I'm not going after him. He's fine. Well, that lasted 7 days. Today, Trump went after him again. Why is it a problem? Well, first of all, even without going through the details, the stock market and the bond market flips out when Trump does this because they think Trump is going to destroy the U.S. economy, and it's not a safe economy to invest in long term if Trump is interfering with the Federal Reserve. So when Trump once again starts to interfere with the Federal Reserve, it tells people around the world don't trust the American economy to invest in. That is not good news. For our retirement, it's not good news for our bonds, for our government debt. It's not good news for your mortgage interest rate, anything else. The reason is because Trump wants the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates because it will juice the economy and make economic growth go crazy. The problem is, yeah, it will. And you know what else it'll do? It'll make inflation go crazy too. Inflation has never been not never. In the last several years, inflation got down to 3%, but it was never totally tamed. It should be down to 2%. At the same time, Trump is now increasing inflation significantly with his tariffs. His tariffs are a tax on American goods, a tax on foreign goods coming into America that Americans pay the tax. So when it's 145% tax on goods coming from China, we literally have to pay 145% tax on goods coming from China. Now it's either you and me paying the tax, it's Amazon, it's Walmart, and then Amazon and Walmart have to say, well, that toaster from China that cost $100 now costs $245. Are we going to eat that price and only charge $100, or are we going to charge you $245 now? If they do, inflation goes up for us. If they don't, inflation goes up for the companies because those companies still lose money, right? If the price goes up 145%, Amazon loses money, Walmart loses money, and they end up firing their workers to save the money. That impacts the economy. It impacts all of us. Excuse the sun. It's doing things today. Come on, sun. Stop it. Well, the sun's in just the position to annoy you people on TikTok. It'll be gone in a minute. Where was I with this? With the stock market, the economy. Oh, yeah, Walmart. So Trump then flips out today and says, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that unemployment is, basically job growth is now weakening, that the economy shrank last quarter, that inflation is going up. And that the stock market, by the way, freaked out again today and went down because Trump went after Powell and interest rates again, which people are afraid is going to cause. That's what I was concluding with Powell. The concern is that Trump is going to make inflation soar. Oh, that's my bread ready. One moment. Mods, tell people what I'm up to. Yay! All right. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Woo! All right. Good. There we go. That's more like it. All right. Here, I'll take I have Greek bread in the oven. One moment. I'll take a picture to show you all. Woo! That's good. All right. That is much better now. All right. All right. Oven is off. Bread is cooling. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, hold on. I'm going to show you. Sorry, my Greek bread was in the oven, and I knew it wasn't going to be ready until now because that's what it does, but it's fine. Oops. Let me get it. So this is a very nice Greek Easter bread that I like to make all the time. That's my Greek Easter bread. But it's a kind of a sweet bread with eggs and makes a wonderful, wonderful toasted breakfast. It's called sureki, but it's a wonderful bread. Absolutely wonderful. In any case, so Trump, the stock market's freaking out today. What does Trump do? It's Joe Biden's fault. This is pretty funny. Trump is now trying to blame Joe Biden for all the problems with the economy. Thank you, Coffee Magic, for Carrie for the Coffee Magic. He's blaming Biden for the economy. He goes, it's not my fault. I only became president in January 20th. the economy's not my fault. Well, honey, the problem is the economy was doing really well while Joe Biden was president. Inflation was at 3%. That was the only remaining problem. But growth was great. Job creation was great. The economy was doing great. And Donald Trump came in. He soared prices. He killed economic growth with his tariffs. He scared the hell out of companies with his attacks on the Federal Reserve. He killed the bond market. He killed stocks. And now the economy's in trouble. And it's classic. But it is kind of funny, actually, that, mind you, Trump didn't tell us that this was Joe Biden's economy until right now, right? Why for the last 3 months hasn't Trump been telling us this was Joe Biden's economy? Only today he did. A year ago, for the last year, Trump has been saying it's his economy. A year ago, it was still Biden's presidency for all of last year. January of last year, a year ago, Trump said, this is my economy. The economy is doing so well under Biden because they know I'm going to win. And that's why the economy is doing so well. And people were like, really? Is that how it works, Donald? Yeah. Now he's no longer responsible. By the way, everybody knows, nobody can, Trump's not going to win this. The polls show people are pissed. People think the economy is in trouble. People expect the economy to get worse. Something like 73% of the American people think the economy is getting worse and they expect it to get worse. And we all know the reason it's getting worse is Donald Trump's tariffs, which are a tax on Americans, a tax on American companies, a tax on American citizens. And he's going to raise our taxes. He already has raised our taxes. And it's going to hurt economic growth and it's going to cause inflation. And we all know that. This is what I mean. You don't even have to explain this. Having said that, now, Donald Trump admitted it today. He's been lying about tariffs this whole time and claiming that, tariffs are paid by, where's my wig? He keeps going, is this the right way? I still feel a little bit like Martha Stewart or Rip Wilson when I wear that. Was it Rip Wilson? Was that his name? Rip Wilson? I think it was, right? Like, but he goes like, the Americans won't pay the tariffs. The tariffs are going to be paid by China. The tariffs are paid by foreigners. Americans don't. Flip Wilson. There, Rick, that's funny. Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson is a wonderful political guy who I love. Rick, that's very funny. Confusing Rick and Flip Wilson. So Trump has been claiming that the tariffs are going to be paid by foreigners. He's lying. Feel free to Google it right now. Tariffs are paid when, for example, tariffs on Chinese goods. Trump put 145% tariffs on Chinese goods. That means anything you buy for $100 from China, the cost is $100. There will be a $145 tax extra on that $100 good. Okay. Well, thank you, Addie. Thank you, Mario. What Trump is claiming is, oh no, the Chinese pay. It's a tax on China. It's literally not a tax on China. It's literally a tax you pay at the American border. So if you're Walmart, you pay the tax. If you're Amazon, you pay the tax. If you're you and me, you pay the tax. It is American companies and American citizens paying the tax. That's literally the way. And again, Google it. Oh, Rip Taylor. It's not Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson was black. Guys, Rick. It was Rip Taylor. I was mixing it all up. Rip Taylor. It's Rip Taylor who had the hair. Thank you for that. I was like Flip Wilson. He was like the black comedian. So yeah, we're still explaining tariffs because literally people don't get it. So Trump today admitted that the tariffs were a tax on Americans. He was being interviewed. This is wild. He was in the Oval Office and talking about the economy and everything else. And he goes, I don't want to play. I've got the clip on TikTok. I don't want to play it here because YouTube freaks out whenever I play clips. Also, YouTube, they can never hear it. But he goes, oh, they're talking about store shelves being empty because there have been a lot of predictions from the retail industry that American store shelves are going to start being empty in about 5 to 6 weeks. We're going to see, because trade with China is gone. I mean, the trade has mostly disappeared. We get a ton of shit from China. 77% of American toys come from China, right? A lot of technology comes from China. A lot of it is gone right now. And American store shelves are going to be empty. And by the way, they're also talking about Christmas being a problem now, even though we're so early in this. They're talking about Christmas being a big problem, that we're not going to have enough supplies for Christmas. So Trump says today, oh, they're talking about store shelves being empty. That's ridiculous. Toys. And he brings up toys because toys is the big example. 77% of American toys come from China. Okay. It's a big deal, right? 77%. Thank you, Varusin, for the gift. 77% of American toys come from China. All right. So if trade stops with China, which it just has, we lose 77% of our toys. Trump knows this. Okay. Trump knows this. Exactly. Adios, juguetes. Trump knows this. So he knows, he's been told there's going to be a toy crisis. We're going to lose toys from store shelves. Christmas is going to be a problem. Trump says today, they're talking about store shelves being empty. It's not going to be a problem. And he goes, toys, because he's been told toys is going to be a problem. He goes, toys, yeah, your kid is going to get 2 toys this year instead of 30. First, he said, I was like, wait, what? Trump said that in a normal year, your kids might get 30 toys. We're only going to have enough to give your kid 2 toys this year instead of 30. And I'm listening to this going, so you mean 80% of the toys are disappearing? Like, what are you talking? Not even 80, that's 90%. That's actually, yes, because 2 out of 30 would be 6, 8. That'd be like 91% of the toys are disappearing. So he goes, yeah, in a normal year, dolls, he sells dolls. In a normal year, your kid will get 30 dolls. This year, they'll only be able to get 2 dolls. He goes, and they'll cost a few dollars more. So you're going, wait a minute. You just admitted that your tariffs are going to cause a shortage of toys in America as we head into Christmas. That 90% of the toys are going to be missing, he just said. And he claimed that the remaining toys are going to be more expensive. Why would the remaining toys be more expensive if China is paying the tax? Why would toys be more expensive in America for Americans? He said China was paying. He said it's not going to affect America. Now he's admitting most toys are going to be missing and you're going to pay more for those toys. But it's not a big deal that you'll be paying more. Mind you, a few dollars per toy. Paying $5 to $10 a toy? Why the hell do I want to pay $5 to $10 a toy more if I've got kids and I'm buying stuff, right? $5 to $10 a toy? That's decent money, especially when the toys, by the way, when the toys cost $10 and $20, you're going to be paying $5 to $10 more. By the way, actually, not even. Currently, if the toy costs $20, you could be paying $30 more per toy. If the toy costs $20, it could now cost $50. I mean, this is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Okay? This man admitted today that his tariffs are going to increase prices on America and they are going to cause a nationwide toy shortage. He said it today. Yeah, the Burgermeister Burger, exactly. Yeah. No, absolutely unbelievable. But he admitted it. He admitted it at least. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Marshall. It boggles my mind the degree to which he lies. And speaking of which, another story in which Trump either lied or has got a problem. Here, he was doing an interview with Terry Moran, who's a journalist from ABC News, and they're talking about what's his name, Kilmar Abrigo Garcia. He's the El Salvadoran guy who Trump illegally deported out of the U.S. He committed a felony deporting the guy, and then he committed another felony refusing to bring the guy back. The Supreme Court ordered him to assist in bringing the guy back, and Trump said no, which is a felony. It's criminal contempt. And it's also a constitutional crisis because the president shouldn't be ignoring the Supreme Court. So he's talking to Terry Moran of ABC News. Thank you for the flowers, Marcia. Beautiful. Thank you, Cricket and Charlie as well. He's talking to Terry Moran. And Trump goes, well, that guy, he was a gang member, MS-13 gang. And Terry Moran goes, well, they don't really know that. Yes. It's on his hand. And Terry Moran goes, no, that was a Photoshop. No. He's got MS-13 written on his hand. I've got the picture. I'm going to show you the picture. Trump was either extremely, not even confused, just crazily wrong. This is a major policy issue. And Trump is saying he deported this guy because Trump doesn't understand Photoshop. Trump claimed that, oh no, the photos show the guy's hand has MS-13 for the gang written on his hand. The reporter goes, sir, that was Photoshop, meaning it was a computer program that wrote it on his hand. No, it was MS-13 on his hand. He goes, you're very bad. You're very mean to me. You're very bad. It clearly showed MS-13. And he goes on and on and on and on to explain that his policy, Trump's immigration policy, was based on Trump crazily thinking that a Photoshop of some numbers on a photo, that somebody used Photoshop to put the numbers on the photo, Trump thought they were real and they were a tattoo, and that's why he deported the guy. Let me find this picture. Here's the picture. I kid you not. Trump claims, you see MS-13? Trump claims the MS-13 is a tattoo. It's not a tattoo. I'm going to show you closer. First of all, kind of amazing they were able to write the tattoo in a computer font. I mean, couldn't you see the guy going like, I'm a gang member and I want you to write the tattoo in like Arial or New York Times New Roman? I mean, like he literally got this wrong and claimed that this was, the reporter keeps going. It's not even a fake. What it was, these are the tattoos on the guy's hand. The Trump people are trying to claim, oh, this is secret code for an M. This is secret code for an S. This is secret code for a 1. Actually, it's a Christian cross. I could see how Trump would be confused that a Christian cross is a number rather than a cross. And then the skull's my favorite. The Trump people are going, a skull is secret code for a 3 because there's 1, 2 eyes and a third nose. There's 3 holes. And I'm like going, well, actually, there's 4 holes because the mouth, and then there's 5, 6 holes for the ears. So is this actually a 6? But again, that's what the numbers are on top. The numbers were photoshopped in the letters to show you this one represents an M, this represents an S. And Trump went on for 2 minutes with this reporter. No, it's not Photoshop. It's his hand. It's the no. I saw the picture. He goes, I saw the picture. The numbers on the picture. Now, I talked to a friend today. I mentioned the fact that this was Trump. It sounded like a very scary senior moment. And what my friend said to me, which I thought was interesting, he said, actually, he could be lying. He goes, think of Trump, right? He said, it could be real, right, that he's saying this, or he could just be gaslighting us. I mean, Trump basically knows, I want to pull this up, Trump knows he doesn't have a good excuse for why he committed a felony. He violated a court order and committed a felony to get rid of this guy. He's committing a felony by ignoring a Supreme Court order to get the guy back. And the only excuse he's got is this guy was a gang member, but he doesn't have proof. So the proof he's got now is a fake photo that shows a Photoshop writing the tattoo on the guy's hand. This could be, it could be Trump being incredibly stupid and literally thinking Photoshop is real, because this is Donald Trump we're talking about, not exactly the brightest bulb. It could be that Trump is gaslighting us. It could be that Trump is lying to us, that Trump being Trump, knows he was caught and he's on camera with a reporter and the reporter caught him. He doesn't have the evidence that this guy was guilty. Not to mention Trump committed, even if the guy was guilty, Trump committed a felony to deport him. I mean, you don't commit felonies to deport people. That's not what our government does. Yes, it is what our government does now. It's not what the American government did up until now. You don't commit felonies. The president does not commit felonies in a democracy. In America, they don't. But this could be Trump trying to save his behind, and he's embarrassed because, again, he committed a felony to deport this guy. He committed multiple crimes. He's trying to cover himself and prove the guy was a gang member, and therefore Trump is lying. Trump knows the photo's a fake, but he's lying about it because enough of his people will believe him, right? Now, what does this remind us of? This reminds us of Sharpiegate. Remember Sharpiegate? Sharpiegate was Donald Trump back in maybe 2019, I think it was. And Trump used a Sharpie, a magic marker, to change a map. So there was a map. Here's Trump in the Oval Office. This was a map of a hurricane. Let me get a better copy of the map. I'm trying to find a higher resolution. That's not the one. That's not the one. I think, yeah. Well, it's good enough. It's good enough. It shows the hurricane heading towards Florida. And then once it leaves Florida, the map, okay, this is really driving me a little crazy here. It's not a high quality enough image here. Arg. Maybe is the Daily Mail one going to show us? Yeah, the Daily Mail one will show us. So it shows the circles going across Florida. And then there's a little black mark extend. This is Florida. That's Georgia. And then, but Trump goes, oh, the hurricane's going to hit Alabama. The map doesn't, he goes, the map shows it's going to hit Alabama. No, the map shows it's going to hit Florida, maybe Georgia, and then we don't know from there. He said, no, the map shows Alabama. On his own, before the camera started, he took a magic marker and he drew this circle. And he pointed to the map and said, look, there's the black circle. It shows Alabama is covered. And everyone went, you did that yourself. Like, the map is white. The map isn't black. Well, Trump goes, no, the National Weather Service did the map. The National Weather Service had to come out and say, we didn't do the map. That's not our map. We did the map, but that black circle was not our map. Somebody drew it on there. Trump is now defunding the Weather Service. He's now killing the National Weather Service in America. He's literally defunding it. And they're gonna let some big private donor people now take over weather for private companies, take over the weather for America, because he's so upset that the National Weather Service caught him lying. But that reminds you of today in the sense of, like I said, is he confused and not understanding what Photoshop is? And that's why he committed a felony to kick this guy out of the country? Or does he know perfectly well what's going on and he's lying, just like he did with the National Weather Service? Again, who takes a hurricane map and draws on there and goes, look, there's a black circle? I mean, literally, it's like something out of a comedy show. You're going, yes, there's a black circle, sir, because you see, I was saying Sharpie. Sharpie, by the way, anybody who's abroad, I know Sharpie is the brand, like the most famous brand of these markers in America. That's why we call them Sharpies. It's the brand, but it also kind of became the name of the product, Sharpies. All right, a little bit more here. Alexa, lower the temperature 1 degree. Let's move on to Ukraine. All right. TikTok made you unfollow me. How do they do that? All right. Well, we can, or we can talk, but let's talk about this for a minute and then we'll go to TikTok. No, TikTok. Then we'll go to Ukraine. All right. Let's talk a minute about these topics and then we'll switch over to Ukraine. We did talk about Carney. Yes, I said Donald Trump won the election, so to speak, but not the way he thought. Not the way he thought. What am I looking here? Mineral. Yeah, here we go. Oh, it was 2 hours ago. I didn't see the update. All right. Let me look here. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, Callum told me about the rally in Michigan. I didn't even see that. Well, this is how fascism works, guys. I mean, it's all about lies. It's all about lying to the people. Yeah, I saw Lindsey Graham's thing. Well, Lindsey Graham is desperately hoping not to be publicly compromised. So, here we go. Ukrainian and U.S. officials have signed a joint economic investment deal that includes granting the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. A Treasury Department press release said the two countries have agreed to establish a United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund, referring to it as an economic partnership. Statement did not include details. Okay, so that's it. So there's no details yet. So we have no idea what this deal is. Supposedly they signed something. Honestly, they could have signed the initial deal, which is the memorandum of understanding. It's possible the detailed deal has not been signed yet because, as I said, I had read legally it has to go to the Ukrainian parliament. So I suspect that's what's going on. Trump did go off about it today and say, once again, Biden gave Ukraine $350 billion. He says this a lot. Biden gave American companies mostly $119 billion, not Ukraine and not 350. This is, guys, he pathologically lies, and it's disturbing because it's not the kind of thing an American president is supposed to do. It's not the kind of thing an American president historically did. Democrats didn't lie like this. Republicans didn't lie like this. George Bush, Ronald Reagan didn't lie like Donald Trump does. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, what's his face? Biden didn't lie like Trump does. Trump is a pathological liar. It is incredibly disturbing because then we've seen how his lies lead to felonies, right? Like, thank you, Marsha, for the gift. We see how his lies lead to felonies. We see how, in terms of like the immigration felony, in terms of the Stormy Daniels felony, when he paid off a porn star after he had sex with her while his wife had just given birth to their son. And you've seen just how these lies compound. In this case, Trump is claiming falsely. Thank you for the wings, Alisoni. Trump is claiming falsely, and thank you, Dave, Jocelyn Odes, that the U.S. has given $350 billion to Ukraine. No, U.S. aid to Ukraine has been $119 billion. Again, this is like almost a factor of 3 to the degree he's claiming 300. Actually, it is a factor of 3. He's claiming we gave 3 times more aid than we did. That is a whopper of a lie. He's president of the United States. He should know better. He does know better, by the way, because he said this repeatedly. He's intentionally lying. And the other thing too, which is it's a more complicated point, and Trump doesn't deal with complication. For example, he gets his briefings with photos. The morning briefing from the CIA. At the first administration, Trump complained that the CIA briefing of the state of the world had too many words in it, and he wanted pictures. So they had to give him paper with pictures on it in the morning. No word on whether they had to give him crayons as well, but they had to give him pictures because the briefing was very hard for him because it had words. This is the CIA briefing of the world, okay? I mean, the CIA briefing of the world, and this guy was doing this. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Quite Sharpies. So where are we with this? The lies. He claimed $350 billion the U.S. has given Ukraine. It's 119. And the thing too is, anybody can Google this. Anybody can Google this news. I mean, the amount of money the U.S. has given Ukraine is totally public, right? It's totally public. And Ash, as I've said, those people need to be banned. Right? Yeah, exactly. Google's a lie. Exactly, Michael. Now, Michael, I'm assuming you're being funny, but if you are being funny, be careful, because that's the kind of comment we would block, because that would be the kind of crazy people comments. So I assume you're being funny, but if you're not, you're leaving. Yeah, crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. Oh yeah, Ryan, I talked about the tattoo thing. Yes. The reporter going, Mr. President, it's Photoshop. It's not Photoshop. I saw the picture. You saw a picture of a Photoshop. You're being mean to me. I don't know who you are. He said that to the reporter too. He goes, I don't even know who you are. I let you interview me, but you're nobody. I don't even know who you are. And you're like, he's Terry Moran of ABC News, who's been around for 30 years, one of their top international correspondents. You know who Terry Moran is, but also you wouldn't let him interview you in the Oval Office if you didn't know who he was, right? I mean, Anyway. Oh my God. What else we got? European Union is planning a plan B on how to keep economic sanctions on Russia should the U.S. abandon peace talks. I thought that was pretty cool. So the Europeans are at least looking at how they can keep the sanctions on Russia if Trump decides to walk away. Basically say, okay, your little buddy Russia is not going to get a deal. The Russians kind of told Donald Trump to go F himself today, which I thought was very interesting. Listen to this. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told Sky News that despite the U.S. wanting peace to come quickly, Russia feels the war is, quote, too complicated to be brought to an end overnight. He means the ceasefire. He's saying Trump's idea of a ceasefire is not going to happen. He goes on. Peskov, Putin spokesman, told Moscow correspondent Ivor Bennett of Sky News that Vladimir Putin was ready for direct negotiations with the Ukrainians and that a peace deal should be with Ukraine and not with America. Putin told Trump to go take a hike. Putin told Trump that Trump shouldn't even be here. Trump shouldn't even be meeting with the Russians to negotiate this stuff, is what Putin said today. I mean, the problem for Trump with all of this is that he put his credibility on the line. He claimed he was going to put pressure on Ukraine and Russia, and whichever one of them wasn't ready for a peace deal, he was going to punish them. He was either going to cut off all aid to Ukraine if Ukraine wasn't ready for peace, and he was going to give Ukraine 100 times more weapons if the Russians weren't ready for peace. Well, the Russians have made clear today they're not ready for peace. There is no way in hell Donald Trump is going to keep his campaign promise and give Ukraine the weapons he said they were going to get. He won't. Trump is just going to walk away. He's going to get angry. It's going to be like that. I don't want anybody to play with my toys and walk away is what's going to happen next. But very interesting that the Russians have basically told Trump to take a hike. They're not interested in him even being involved in the peace process, which is I mean, shockingly rude of the Russians, honestly, but oh well. Oh well. The final story, this was from the Times of London. This is kind of scary, actually. So the Europeans have been talking about putting a peace force in Ukraine, and it's not looking good. Listen to this. Times of London. Europe would struggle to collectively muster 25,000 troops to be part of a deterrent force in Ukraine because its armies are undermanned and underfunded. Admiral Sir Tony Ratigan, the British Chief of Defense Staff, is said to have asked his counterparts on the continent if they could put together a 64,000 strong force to send to Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. He said Britain would be willing to send up to 10,000 personnel. However, in subsequent meetings, defense ministers across Europe said there was no chance they could reach the number of 64,000 and that even 25,000 would be a push for a joint effort, meaning it would be very difficult to do. That is very scary stuff. Also, it's a little pathetic too. The Europeans can find the troops. There's no way that the European defense ministers came up with the number 65,000, not knowing how many troops they had. It's not like, right, they're defense ministers of Europe that came up with this number. They know how many men they've got. They know. They can't later say, oh, we just didn't know how many people were actually in our army when we promised that many troops. So I don't know. I mean, it's again, I'm sympathetic to Europe being smaller. I'm sympathetic to whatever. I am not sympathetic to the fact that they seem to know quite well how many troops they had a month ago when they promised this number, and now they're suddenly promising a lot less. That bothers me. So anyway, all right, guys, let's hang out and talk, our usual. La 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 la. So what else is going on? Or we can talk about any of this news. Thank you for the gift. Who is that? Chezak. Thank you, Chezak. All righty. La la la. Dog is asleep. Asleep in her little bed. Oh man. What about the ports? Thank you, Jojo. What else? I'm just looking here at the comments here. Do I see an end to this? Ukraine war? No, not really. I don't know what your question means. Most unique. The Iran port was Israel. I don't know what that. Oh, did something blow up in an Iranian port? I didn't see that. If it did, I wouldn't be surprised, or the Brits, or somebody else, or us even. But I didn't see. Did something blow up? The FEC. I didn't see what's happening with the FEC now. No food in the ports. What are you talking about? I did not see empty ports. Let me look. I did not see stories about empty ports today. I mean, we know trade from China has pretty much stopped, but no, you're reading social media bullshit. I think this is social media bullshit. Yeah, I'm seeing bullshit on. I'm sorry, but like, it may be. Let's see here. Some of this is social media, which you should not believe. Let me see if there's any actual stories here. Let's see. Chicago Tribune. Well, there's some data, which is good. Trump's tariff onslaught has roiled Washington. Oops. Hello. Hold on. My microphone is moving on me. Stop moving, microphone. There we go. Trump's tariff onslaught has roiled Washington and Wall Street for nearly a month, blah, blah, blah. Since the U.S. raised levies on China to 145% in April, cargo shipments have plummeted, perhaps by as much as 60%, according to one estimate. The drastic reduction in goods from one of the largest U.S. trade policy or trade partners, and now I can't read the rest of the article because it's Chicago Tribune. Port of Los Angeles warns difficult decisions ahead as shipments from China cease. So, yes, there's been a massive decline, but yes, there's a decrease, but the ports being empty is a social media lie, I suspect. I've told you guys, don't believe stuff you see online. Don't believe people. I mean, believe me if I'm telling you the truth all the time, but don't just believe people telling you stuff. Right, 35% decrease, that's true. Ports being shut down and empty, no one's saying that yet. Yeah, significant decrease, but we knew that. Yeah, Yahoo. Social media says Seattle ports are empty. The data shows growth. So yeah, it's a viral big. Here's a surprise: viral TikTok videos and Facebook posts claim Port of Seattle is effectively dead. Except they lied to you. What a surprise! Somebody on TikTok and Facebook did a video lying to you. What a surprise. So yeah, yeah. No, the traffic is going down. Yes, we know that. We know the shipments are being cut back because China isn't exporting anything practically. Um, yeah, big difference. Right. There's a big difference between traffic going down and the port is empty and shut down. Do I need to explain this again? Like it was a lie. The first comment they said was a lie. The ports are not empty and they haven't shut down. Traffic has cut down significantly. We know that. Yes. Anyway, I don't know what you're talking about. That's a nope. I mean, we talked about Ukraine before, how that's going to end. I'm not sure what you mean. Showed us that it's not true. I'm not sure what that means, Brenty. Anyway. Oh, Iran's ports got blown up. I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. It could have been Israel. It could have been the U.S. It could have been the Brits. It could have been the French. It could have been, what was it? Islamic State or whoever the hell is also pissed at the Iranians. So they were the ones who blew up some of the earlier bombs, you know? So anyway, yes, war is brewing between India and Pakistan. That is getting worse. There's concerns that the Indians are basically sort of trying to justify an invasion of some sort in Pakistan. So that's interesting. Interesting. I'm pulling up the Iran story. Yeah, I just didn't see it. Iran finally extinguished a fire Monday at a southern port rocked by an explosion. The port reportedly took in a chemical component needed for solid fuel for ballistic missiles. Oh, that sounds like Israel. Something denied by authorities. The blast disintegrated. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Israel, but honestly, it could be any of us. I mean, if Callum were here, I think he would agree with me. It could just be a coincidence. It sounds like something the rest of us would have done. So yes. And I'm all for it. Am I concerned about the tariffs? Yeah, because he's killing the economy. Like, yeah, they are potentially going to cause a recession. They are going to cause inflation. They're going to cause store shelves to be empty. I'm very concerned about the tariffs. Yes. China, Kayla, I don't recall if we get food from China at all. Kayla's asking if it's going to affect food in our stores. China, it's a lot of technology. It's a lot of clothing, toys of all crazy things. We get a lot of toys from China. Thank you. That's a nope. Appreciate it. I don't know. Poppy says we get food. Let me see. I can try ChatGPT. Grain, really? I can try. Am I going to raise my subscription prices because of tariffs? That would actually be kind of funny. I mean, it wouldn't be funny, but it would be funny. No, I'm not going to do that. ChatGPT. Let's try this. Let's see. Does the U.S. import food from China, and what do we import and how much? Now, mind you, ChatGPT lies, as we know. ChatGPT is a little Trumpy. But let's see. Yes, the United States imports a variety of food products from China, though these imports represent a relatively small portion of the overall U.S. food supply. Seafood, notably tilapia, fruits and vegetables, both fresh and processed, apple juice concentrate. A significant portion of U.S. apple juice is sourced from China. Who knew? Spices and tea. Okay, I guess not surprising. Snack foods. As of 2025, the U.S., we know that. Chinese tilapia exports to the U.S. have been severely affected with a 170% tariff, leading to a sharp decline in imports. So basically, the tilapia we were getting from China now costs 170% more. Consumers may experience higher prices on importing food items such as seafood, spices, and processed foods. Yeah, there's an article on Reuters about Chinese fish getting caught. San Francisco gets a lot of the seafood from China. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know though. I don't know whether like we're all going to see, I don't know. I just don't know what the rest of the stuff is. Let me pull this back up. I'll give ChatGPT credit. It was actually giving me articles and stuff, which was very interesting. Oh, interesting. Worried Costco shoppers rush to stock up on 7 key items. How tariffs on China. Oh, here we go. This is from Investopedia several months ago, but it's interesting how tariffs on Chinese goods could affect your grocery bill. Interesting. Let's see. Chinese food products and ingredients, including soaps, flour, seafood, and spices, are found throughout grocery stores. Everyday items like frozen shrimp and tilapia, heavily sourced from China, would see immediate price increases. Other foods like salmon, typically produced in the U.S., are processed in China and thus are counted as Chinese goods. Oh, that's interesting. So U.S. salmon that's caught in the U.S. Gets processed in China and then gets the 145% tariff. Ooh. Everyday cooking staples could become expensive. China is the world's largest garlic producer, accounting for over 80% of the global production. American consumers might also notice price increases on items like apple juice concentrate, certain teas and spices, and processed foods, many of which rely on China. Here are the goods most likely affected: apple juice, cereal, coffee. Coffee from China? Is it processed or something? Dairy products like milk and eggs, fish and crustaceans, flour and starches, fruit and nuts, garlic, honey, vegetables, especially corn, vegetable fats and oils, soap, candles, spices, sugar, tea, vinegar, and wheat. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, so apparently, yes. Yes. The problem is it's not just China. Keep in mind, Trump put a 10% tariff on everything from every country in the world except Russia. So already we're going to see price increases from the 10%. 10% on everything. And if we're not paying it, American companies are paying it, which means the companies we buy this stuff from just lost 10% of their money because of Trump, right? They just lost 10% of their I don't know, their profits even. It could even be worse than their profits. They just lost another 10% of the cost, which could be a hell of a lot more than their profits because of Trump. So the tariffs are already causing problems. But in 45 days or 60 days or whatever it is, the tariffs are back. 40% on Vietnam or whatever the hell it was, right? 20% of the European Union, all this crazy stuff. Israel did get tariffs. I don't know whether they got wiped away, but Trump put tariffs on Israel. Yeah, he did. You know. Well, it's the processing that's the concern. That's an said maybe Alaskan salmon will become more prevalent. What concerns me is this article said that even U.S. fish is processed in China. So it depends if the Alaskan salmon is all processed in Alaska or whether it gets shipped to China to be processed and then comes back to the U.S. all clean and in its packages and everything else. So I don't know. Like when we say fish is fresh, I don't know what that means. You know, like in Alaska, maybe you go and buy it from the fisherman. Here, we don't buy it from the fisherman in Washington, D.C. You know, Poppy says all of our packing materials for our food comes from China. Okay, Kaya says a lot of Alaskan salmon is processed in Alaska. Okay, that's good for Alaska. Okay, TS says the same thing. Okay, a lot of it's processed there. Okay, well that's good for Alaska then. Okay, that's good. Okay, then Alaska. No, it depends whether there's enough Alaskan salmon to go around. There may not be enough to make a difference, right? I mean, if we're already buying all the Alaskan salmon there is, all this is going to do is increase the price of Alaskan salmon. It doesn't mean that there's enough, Alaskan salmon to make up the difference. You know. What else? Oh, canned salmon. Okay, so then maybe they mean canned salmon. All right, like the cans you get, the tuna and the salmon, everything else. Vitamins to balance pet food. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that. Components for pet food and stuff. Yeah. No, this is the problem. First of all, he put a 10% tariff on everything from every country except Russia, right? That's 10% inflation right there. Permanent inflation of 10% on everything. That is not a small amount. And again, it's Americans paying it. So, Oh, la, 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 la. Anyway, what else, guys? What else? Exactly. The greatness is too much to handle. Exactly. Well, it will lead to job layoffs eventually. Yeah. I mean, because the problem is companies are losing money. Trump just hit every company, U.S. company with a 10% tax on everything they buy. I mean, if they lose money, guess what they're going to do? They're going to lay people off. I mean, oh, well, told you. I mean, not you guys, because but you know what I mean? If India invades Pakistan, do we get involved? No. We get involved to maybe try to calm things down. And I would say probably we get involved. Okay, it depends what you mean by get involved. We're probably already involved trying to get both parties to not go to war. Now, Trump couldn't care less about India and Pakistan. So I guarantee you, trying to get Trump to care he's going to be like, I don't get, it's not our war. So good luck with that. But if there's anybody sane in the Trump administration, they will probably try to get permission to go and try to get both parties to calm down and not go to war. But we're not going to get involved militarily. I don't know. Alex says he probably could see the U.S. sharing intelligence with India. That's interesting. I don't even know what accent I did, Luca. I do them and I don't even realize I just did an accent. That's very funny. Yeah, cabinet meeting today, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Mr. Trump, you're the best thing since sliced bread. How are you so wonderful? Oh, man. It looks like India's getting ready to attack. Both countries have nukes. Oh, JD Vance, a couple days ago started maybe it was yesterday, started the nuclear bullshit again. This, by the way, is a total Russian talking point. JD Vance goes, we've got to stop this war. It could go nuclear. If this war goes on much longer, Russia could use nuclear weapons. I thought Russia was winning. I thought the Russians said Russia was winning. I thought the Trump administration said Russia was winning and Ukraine was never going to win, right? That Russia was clearly going to win. If Russia's clearly going to win, why would Russia need to use nuclear weapons? I'm confused, right? Again, the nuclear weapon thing is a Soviet talking point early on, and it is a Russian talking point. It's literally Russian propaganda. And our vice president of the United States is spewing Russian propaganda. What a surprise. Actually, we ought to send Vance to go we ought to send Vance to go sit down with Vladimir Putin. You get the joke. Anyway. What else? Yeah, he's recently a Catholic, apparently. He became a Catholic in 2019 or something. It's like, okay. Is he the one? I'm trying to remember. He's not the one who switched his religion like 8 or 9 times, is he? No, that's not him. That was somebody else. Who was that? One of the religious Republican types. Oh, Marco Rubio. Oh my God. Marco Rubio switched his faith like 9 times. I kid you not. 9 times, give or take 9 times. And I'm like, dude, if you've changed your faith 9 times, I have serious questions for you as to what you're doing. Right? JD's the one that has 4 different names. That's it. Exactly. Oh, sorry. Jeffrey was asking about the EU stuff. Sorry, Jeffrey, didn't see it. Do you think the European Union fears that if they put 65,000 troops in Ukraine, that may leave them short of troops to support themselves if or when Russia decides to invade Europe? I mean, maybe not. It depends. I mean, if 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 the troops are in, I mean, the whole point of the troops being in Ukraine, I mean, if they invade Europe, you're there anyway. I don't know. I mean, you want the troops on the ground, and maybe they think if a war, but if a war starts in Estonia, can't you just move the troops up? What's the difference if the troops are in Britain or in Ukraine? What's the difference, right? If they invade Estonia, just move them to Estonia instead of. I don't. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure. I get why that's a. I don't know. Maybe again, Callum is the one who could maybe tell us a little more on what that, what the implications are of the troops not being in the UK versus or wherever, France or whatever versus elsewhere. Oh, he was in India, flying medic. Vance was in India when the terrorist attack happened. Yeah, or he either just arrived before or right after, but he like went from the Pope, and then the Pope died, and then went to India, and war broke out. Basically, yeah. So, I'm all for dominance with force, actually. Right. Well, Russia handling two wars is a big question. Exactly. Steve asks, do I think Russia had anything to do with the blackouts in Spain and Portugal? Yes. Basically, the Spain and Portugal lost like all their power. The country went black. Both countries went black. Southern France too, like black, lost all their power. Did the Russians do it? Who knows? Is it something the Russians would do? Yes. Is it something the Russians are capable of doing? Yes. Would I be surprised if we found out Russia did it? No. Is it consistent with what Russia's been doing for years? Yes. So, but we don't know, partially because I'm not privy to what the Spanish government is investigating. So I'm not going to say Russia did it, but is it consistent with something Russia would do? Oh, yeah. Did my mind immediately go to Russia? Oh, yeah. I was talking to Callum about it too. His mind went to Russia too. Yeah. I didn't see Penny. What was the latest Hegseth messaging? It was actually a very funny cat meme. I know it's not funny, but a plane, like a U.S. aircraft, fell into the sea from an aircraft carrier, and somebody did a meme of a giant 90-foot cat sitting on the aircraft carrier and going like this. Which, I'm sorry, it was very funny. Cats crack me up with that stuff, but literally like it knocked the plane off. Who was it? BuzzFeed used to do, thank you, Randy, Fred, for the gifts. Keep the gifts coming, guys. BuzzFeed used to have a series of videos that was the funniest damn thing. And it was what if cats were people? And it showed a guy, and they filmed it in the BuzzFeed offices, and the guy was sitting there, and he was just like sitting there, and he's talking to his friend, like talking to the coworkers are all talking, and he's kind of sitting there singing, and he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he goes and throws the cup on the floor, like the coffee mug on the floor, and they all look at him, and he's like, and he throws another one. I remember that one, and he was like scaring people. Somebody came into the room for a meeting, and he hid around the corner and just like peeked at them the whole time, and they were like, Mark, what's going on? Mark? Oh, you found Mandy. Man, now I'm calling you Mandy. Manda found it. Hold on, I'm gonna get a picture of this to show you. I mean, it really was pretty funny. This is the meme. Why cats are not allowed on aircraft carriers. I mean, again, I don't want to joke too soon, but it was a pretty freaking funny meme. Hold on. For you guys, I always have to lower the lower the lighting when I'm showing pictures. Here we go. There we go. Pictures for you guys. Why giant cats? Why giant cats are not allowed on aircraft carriers? I just thought that was the funniest damn thing. Funny. But the BuzzFeed one, you have got to find the BuzzFeed one. It is the funniest damn thing you have ever seen. I've got to see if I can even find this here. I mean, again, YouTube won't like it. Actually, YouTube, you won't even be able to hear it, I'm sure. BuzzFeed, cats, people. Oh, no, it's people who hate cats. Ugh. I'm not going to. The problem is they did, of course, BuzzFeed being BuzzFeed, they did too many videos of people and every video they did was about people and cats. People who hate cats, cat facts, because it's BuzzFeed. Hold on. BuzzFeed, if people were cats. Let's see if that, I think. Oh, that was it. If, hold on. Although it's creepy is what they're saying. Let's see here. One sec here. Oh, I think this is the one. Oh, wait, this is the. Oh, right, dominance.
Rub my belly. Stop.
Oh.
No, rub it. Stop. Rub it.
Rub my belly. Stop. Rub it. Stop. Signs of affection. What's I like you. He brought her a bag.
Don't worry, it's dead.
Don't worry, it's dead. Oh, playtime. Oh, rubbing on the guy's computer.
This is good.
Meeting new people.
Hey, why don't you meet my girlfriend? This is Carol. It takes a while to warm up to people.
Oh. Oh, I mean, there is a series of them with this guy, and they're the funniest. They're written so well. He is so freaking funny. But I love that he's like, what was it, showing affection or whatever it's called. He was like, boom, just threw the coffee cup on the ground. Oh God, I just freaking love that. Oh, 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 la 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 la. I don't remember if he hissed at her or not. He like ran. Well, he ran, but then he probably hissed after he ran back. I don't even have cats, and I get it because I remember seeing friends' cats, and the damn things would just knock things on the floor and stuff. You're like, what are you doing? You know? Oh God. But playtime. He's climbing. He's in a bag on the table at work, flying around. He's very funny too because he's like so serious. He's a great like what do you call that? Comedians when they do like a sort of a deadpan. You know what I mean? So funny. Anyway, so yes, we'll see. TikTok's not going to like that, but oh well. What do you do? Anyway, I'll remove it if TikTok gets upset from the TikTok part. I'm not TikTok. TikTok's fine. I mean YouTube. YouTube doesn't like it. Cats look you in the eye as they do serious breakage. Yeah, I don't get what it is with them. I told you my friends' cats would like one time because my friends would leave and I'd house sit for them. The cats jumped in the laundry hamper and crapped all over my clothes. And I was like, seriously? And mind you, the laundry hamper is like 3 feet off the ground. They had to do some serious work to get in there. Went in there, crapped on my clothes and left. And it was like, really? I mean, man, see, Ash, just unbelievable stuff from cats, you know? Oh, man. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, school art show. That's nice. I mean, the cats did like me actually, but I mean, you know, but it could be they smelled the dog. Exactly. Who knows? The cats did like me. They liked me a lot because they got to know me. They would sit on me and everything else at night. They'd come sit on my lap. It was very cute. But you know, but they're cats. Maybe they weren't well. Yeah, maybe they weren't well, but like you're not feeling well, and you go, hey, let's jump 3 feet off the ground, go into the laundry hamper, crap on the new guy's clothes, and then leave. I mean, maybe, but to me, it felt totally intentional. It didn't feel like I'm not feeling well. It felt like let's go crap on his clothes because he's the new guy. You know. Anyway, that's what I mean. They're just obnoxious. Yeah. I remember we were watching my uncle's cat once, like 40 years ago when he was or 50 years ago, he was getting divorced. And it would go in, you know, back then we had, because it was the 1970s, we had potted plants that were fake, this huge potted tree. And the cat just would like to jump in the fake soil and crap in the fake soil of the potted tree. It wasn't clear why, but it loved to crap in that tree. It was like, okay, whatever. So anyway, the SAS, yeah. That's what I mean. They didn't like me in their space or something. Although then they liked me after a while, but initially they did not. And mom and dad were gone and I was there. There's a whole weirdness about it. Anyway, what else, guys? Otherwise we may. Oh, Mary says one of my parents' cat drops her little fish toy in her water bowl and then drops it on my dad's head while they're sleeping. Oh, the fish you made. Whoa, you mean then picks it out when it's wet and drops it on the dad's head? Oh, that's funny. Well, people told me too. I was told that like people's cats would, if they have a bed frame in the morning, but like 6 a.m., would climb on the bed frame. Somebody told me, it was like one of you guys, but before I was doing this, they told me, one of my blog readers, that the cat would climb on the bed frame and then jump on the husband in the morning, like at 6 a.m. But like from the top of the bed frame, jump on his chest. Which I can only imagine like waking up to that, Oh my God. Unbelievable. There was a kangaroo that escaped today. I didn't hear that. Excuse me. Your cat peed on your boyfriend? Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's not a cat thing either. Nothing new that I know of on Pakistan versus India, other than it looks like the Indians are preparing for war. Is there a kangaroo story? I can look and see. Otherwise, we'll call this quits soon. But let's see. Kangaroo news. Let's see. Oh yeah, runaway kangaroo on the loose named Sheila shuts down Alabama interstate. Okay. Yep. The runaway kangaroo called Sheila causes 2-car collision as Alabama cops say they've never seen anything like it. Oh, this is funny. A kangaroo was involved in a 2-vehicle collision on a road in Macon County, Georgia, or Alabama. The animal called Sheila was tranquilized and recovered by their owner at the scene. Okay. Footage posted on social media shows the kangaroo jumping in between busy traffic on the road before the collision. Oh my God. A runaway kangaroo startled drivers as it hopped onto a busy road after escaping its owner in Alabama. Alabama is not known for kangaroos. The kangaroo named Sheila caused a 2-vehicle collision. The crash occurred in the southbound lane of Interstate 85. Eventually, both she was tranquilized and recovered by her owner. The animal was not injured. I've never seen anything like it. We had a bear a few years ago, but never a kangaroo. You never know what you'll see in Macon County. That's wild. Wait, now I want to see this. Oh, now it's going to show me every freaking ad on the planet here. Hold on. Let's see what. Skip ad. All right. Oh, here we go. Oh, so there's the kangaroo going down the street. Oh, that is the funniest thing. Wow. They're not kidding. That's a kangaroo going down the highway. Look at him hopping. It's amazing that they hop. It really is kind of amazing that they hop, that's comfortable. Wow. Oh my God, the poor thing. He's lucky he didn't get hit. God, how do they travel like that? That's got to be exhausting. Wow. That's pretty, okay, that's kind of cool. I did not see that story. Wow. I mean, but I mean, just the way they, for my lips, the way they are able to jump like that. Yeah, I'll cover India and Pakistan if they go to war. Yeah. We'll talk about updates and stuff. Of course, it's a big enough story. Send it to El Salvador. Exactly. It had MS-13 on its paws. I saw a picture. It wasn't photoshopped. It was a picture. I saw a picture. Deers that served a prison sentence. India and Pakistan are going to war, it seems. Oh, the dog wants. Hello, dog. I don't think that's water. I think she's looking because she wants like me to brush her teeth and give her a treat. I suspect. Ukraine did just sign a mineral deal, or they signed part of it. It's not clear if they signed the entire thing. I hear you, dog. 1 second here, right? Anyway. Oop. I'm maybe about to sneeze here, maybe not. They save energy by traveling like that. It just seems the craziest thing. You'd think jumping would be the most exhausting thing ever. It's amazing thing. I didn't sneeze. I almost sneezed, Carol, but thank you. I did not sneeze. I'm just sniffling. Michael says kangaroos are adapted for hopping. Their unique musculoskeletal structure allows them to efficiently convert stored elastic energy back into kinetic energy during each hop. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. It's almost like having artificial legs with those curves so that like you go and the landing stores some of the energy and then pushes back. That's wild. Wow. Oh, the tail too. Big quads. What? Will you wait a second? All right. All right, guys. I think let's call it quits. We're kind of hanging. Whenever I hang and the traffic starts to die, we're talking kangaroos jumping. How stacked a kangaroo is? I don't know what you. If that means what I think it means. Like, I shouldn't have read that. Muscular. Oh, okay. I assume they're super muscular because of the jumping for starters. They've got to be. My God. Yeah. Yeah. Muscles. Okay. Buff kangaroo. They can't go backwards. Oh, that's funny. There was some, I mean, they signed part of the mineral deal. I'm not convinced they signed the whole thing. Sasha, I'm coming. Yes, kangaroo guy. They got the kangaroo. They tranquilized it, and the guy got the kangaroo back. Some guy in Alabama. I'm coming. Oh my God. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off here. All right. We're pretty much done anyway. Dog is being annoying. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 6:00 Eastern. Same as always. Thank you for joining us today. All right. Discord. Bye-bye. Street Rat. Thank you, Amanda. All right. YouTube. Bye-bye. All right. And then TikTok. You guys are next. Thank you for joining.